Welcome students. Today we are continuing the yesterday's part of the remaining part of the chapter of science, chemical reactions and equations. Today we will study the various types of chemical reactions which are happening in the chemistry. So first one is combination reaction. Combination, as the name suggests, we take A plus B reacts to give AB. It means it is a combination of the two elements. Example, if we take burning of a coal, here carbon plus oxygen react to give carbon dioxide. So if you see here, carbon and oxygen are combining to give CO2. So in this sense, it is a combination reaction. Next, another very important reaction, which is exothermic reaction. Exothermic reactions are reactions in which energy is liberated. Now, energy is liberated. What does that mean? It means, in other words, we can say that the temperature of the reaction is increased. You can see, consider an example where CaO reacts with H2O, react to give slack lime, which is CaOH2, and heat is liberated. And if we see, when slack lime is formed, the temperature of the reaction is increased. So that is meant by an exothermic reaction, the reaction in which energy or heat is liberated. Hope it is understood. Second type of reaction is decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction in which C and D is react to give C plus D. It means it is the element or compound is split into its constituents. Consider an example, CaCO3, calcium carbonate, when heated reacts to give CaO and CO2 gas is liberated. So here also CaCO3 is decomposed into CaO and CO2 in its constituent parts. So this is, hope this is understood, and the decomposition reaction is clear to all of you. Endothermic reaction in which heat energy is supplied in the reaction is called endothermic reaction. Now what does that means? Consider an example, which is lead nitrate decomposed into form lead oxide, and when it is heated. So here if you see in this reaction, the important point is heat. If we don't supply the heat to lead nitrate, it will not convert to lead oxide. As and when the heat is supplied, the reaction takes place in the forward direction and lead oxide is obtained. So here such reactions in which energy is supplied to the reaction and then reaction is occurring is known as endothermic reactions. Third type of reaction is displacement reactions. Displacement means A plus BC react to give AB plus C. Let's understand this by taking an example. Fe react with copper sulfate, react to form FeSO4, ferric sulfate and copper oxide. So here if you see, iron displaces CuSO4 and react to form FeSO4 plus C. Next, double displacement reaction, AB plus CD react to give AC plus BD. Here if you see, AB is displacing CD and CD is displacing AB. Double displacement is happening. Let's take an example. Na2SO4 react with barium chloride, react to form BaSO4 and NaC. If you see, Na2SO4 and BaSCl2 both get displaced between them and two new products are formed. Fifth type of chemical reaction is oxidation and reduction. Now this is a very important reaction as far as the CBSE exams are concerned. Let's see and understand how it works. First, adding of oxygen to reaction is known as oxidation. and removal of oxygen from the reaction is called reduction. So these are the two basically terms which are most commonly used in this type of oxidation reduction reactions. Let's understand this with the help of an example. So I have taken example copper of oxide plus hydrogen gas when heated is react to form copper and H2. So here in this reaction, if you see, it is an example of an oxidation reduction reaction. First, H2 is getting oxidized to H2. So this part is known as oxidation, and copper oxide reduced to form copper. Here removal or adding of oxygen to the reaction is called oxidation. So here H2 is getting converted to H2O. So this is an oxidation reaction, and copper oxide is getting converted to copper, where oxygen is removed. Removal of oxygen from reaction is called reduction. So this is a reaction. So here one important point to note is when a reaction occurs, oxidation reaction occurs, oxidation and reduction are two parts in the reaction which is always present. It cannot oxidation reduction reaction cannot happen that only oxidation will take place in a reaction, not or either reduction reaction is only taking place, oxidation is not occurring. Both type of oxidation reduction will be always present in the reaction. Here two more important points are which needs to be get discussed are CuO, copper oxide, is known as oxidizing agent, and H2 is known as reducing agent. CuO is getting reduced to Cu, copper. So therefore it is known as oxidizing agent. And H2 is getting converted to H2O. That means it is reducing to form H2. So there are four terms which needs to be correctly understood in oxidation reduction reaction. First is oxidation, second is reduction, third is oxidizing agent, fourth is reducing agent. One more important point, sometimes oxidation reduction reactions are also known as redox reactions. If you come across while reading the book redox reaction, that means oxidation and reduction reaction only. There are two more topics remaining in this chapter. First is corrosion, second is rancidity. So let's discuss them one by one. First is corrosion. What is corrosion? Corrosion means the attack of metals on metals due to the atmospheric gases on the surface of the metals to convert them into oxides, sulfides and carbonate is known as corrosion. Now let's understood by taking an example. Here I have taken the most common example which we see in rainy season is rusting. So here iron is attacked by the atmosphere and moisture to form hydrated ferric oxide, which is nothing but the rust, which you see on the gates of the houses, irons, objects. Very common phenomena which we see every day in our day-to-day life. So rusting is very damage of the property. It leads to damage of the property, and and we face many economic losses due to the rustings. So there are many ways to prevent rusting. The most common ways are by painting. We can paint the metal object in order to prevent the rusting. Second, by greasing and oiling. Again, by greasing and oiling, the rusting can be prevented. Third, by galvanization. Galvanization means to dip in the layer of zinc and do it. Galvanization means coating of metal object with a thin layer of zinc. Rancidity means oxidation of oil or fat resulting in a bad taste or bad smell of food is known as rancidity. So basically it is all about, as and when you might have all experienced in your life that as and when the leftover food remains in our houses, if we keep the food in open in the summer season or rainy season, sometimes after the smell cause it smells bad and the taste also gets changed. That is nothing but transient. It happens due to the oxidation of the food. So there are many ways to prevent acidity. A few of them I am going to discuss here today. First is by adding on antioxidants. There are many antioxidants which are added in the food to preserve it. Second, by vacuum packing. Vacuum packing, you might have tasted the packaging item which are under vacuum pressure and the taste got preserved for so many days. Third is by replacing air by nitrogen. Inserting the food with nitrogen gas or nitrogen gas in the food helps in the long preservation